Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Hey,
or is that your name? It's episode 86.
Oh, we can finally reveal that, yes, it is.
Okay.
What's going on, Nelson?
Well, Camber, we have finally, I guess, now can work out whether whose cousin
Right.
Rowan is.
Yes.
Because on the show we have cousin Rowan.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
That's good.
Well, thanks for joining us, Rowan.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. It's a privilege. Absolute privilege.
Do you want to let the listeners know whose cousin you are, or
Or do you want to keep it a mystery?
No, I think a mystery. Maybe we should do some questions at the end and see if we can work it out.
Okay, all right.
And maybe throughout this, they'll see who you align more with.
Ah, yes.
And maybe they can ascertain whose cousin. For new listeners, this is very confusing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Okay, well, in that case, we won't divulge more into that. But, Camber, what'd you get up to this week?
Oh, I did nothing. I had the most boring ass week.
Okay.
I actually thought that...
Good.
Well, I actually thought today, I'm like, oh, hey, Rowan's a guest. I don't really have to say what I did this week because I did nothing.
Oh. Well, see...
So is that on me?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got to say something exciting.
That is true.
Right.
Okay, so hit us with what you got.
I visited down from Canberra.
Yeah.
And yesterday morning, I spent time in Aldi.
Okay.
Wrestling with other parents trying to get snow gear.
Okay.
On sale. So I got
Okay.
the text at like 9 o'clock from my wife going, I need a size 6 jacket for our son. And I'm like, boom, like just out of bed, straight down to Aldi an
Okay.
hour later.
Man, you are whipped.
Okay, yeah, that's
I love a good Aldi random sale of something that like shouldn't be sold at a supermarket.
Yes, I know.
For a while, they were selling like 3D printers that apparently were causing like riots because they were like these super like affordable 3D printers. But it's like, what?
Yeah, I know.
What kind of weird German engineering is this of a supermarket?
It's like a social experiment,
It
really.
really
It's
is,
like
honestly.
they're going to go,
Yeah.
we want to see if someone will literally fight someone else to save a few bucks.
Yeah, that's
on,
right.
some snow boots.
Yeah, I think they sell the security camera footage to some underground people that are betting money on who's going to beat up who in the
It's
in the
Fight Club,
supermarket.
but you don't know you're in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
We don't talk about Fight Club because we didn't realise we're in Fight Club.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it could also be that they just steal a bunch of stuff because it's so random. I reckon they just, some things fall off the back of a truck and they're like,
yeah.
we'll put this in our store.
It's like the mafia. I've just hijacked a truck of vitamins. Whoa, vitamins, LD. Yeah, great. The German mafia.
I love they always have a cabinet at the end of the checkout as well that are full of like where you would normally put like an impulse item, which is like maybe like a candy bar or a bottle of water. One time I saw a trombone.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a weird one to be at the counter, be like, oh, you know what, chuck it in.
Yeah. Give
My
me a
lifelong
trombone.
dream of playing trombone. It's like, it's a sign.
Yeah, I appreciate that they're going for like a big swing,
Yeah, that's right.
being like, look, we could put candy bars there, but if we just sell one trombone, that's
right.
the equivalent. To
We've
like
made our
100
budget for the week.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Cousin Rowan, you are from Canberra. When you come down to Melbourne, do you just realise how much life sucks in Canberra?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Melbourne is just so good.
Yeah.
In Canberra, not so much.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you can move. It is possible.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. But I am largely uneducated. And
Oh, no, Melbourne's fine for that. Move to Brunswick.
no, I know, but I want to get paid more. So, you move to Canberra.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, that's a good
The
point.
job market's very good.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's where all the politicians go. So it checks out. It checks out.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, do you want to know what I did, guys?
Okay, be honest. Is it interesting?
No.
Oh, we forgot the disclaimer from last week. That was going to be the disclaimer,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
No, we've just made the
interesting.
disclaimer on that episode for any future episodes.
right.
Yeah.
That what we say might not be interesting. And you know what? You're going to have to live with that.
So what did you do?
I went to a trivia night last night. And can I tell you, I didn't do as poorly as I thought I would. I think generally I'm bad at trivia.
Yeah, because you're uneducated and you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. I should move to Canberra.
But I think idiots also run trivia nights, so they come up with the questions. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, because they seem smart. Yeah, because they've got all the answers. No, actually, it was a friend of ours, Sarah, who came out with it. And she did this awesome, like, this huge PowerPoint presentation, and there was sound effects, and you had to guess themes and stuff. But I realized last night why I don't particularly like trivia nights.
Okay.
And it's because...
I hope Sarah doesn't listen.
It's not that I'm... No. Last night was fine. And it's because I'm not that bad at trivia, I've realized. But I think that I'm bad at trivia. So I never say the answer that I think it is. Because I'm like, people are going to laugh at me. Yeah. And in fact, that exact thing happened, right? Somebody said the answer was 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yep. And
my team wrote down 2000: A Space Odyssey. And I was like, oh, isn't it? I was like, I think it's 2001. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. And then there's the bloody answer.
Yeah.
And I was really I think we still got the point, so, who cares?
Well, but trivia, it's an interesting thing about trivia because I went to trivia nights for a while, like weekly, did the pub trivia thing.
Yeah.
And being a little bit older than both of you, I suppose, is that it was right around the time, like I was there for the time when smartphones, like when the Apple iPhone got released.
Yeah.
And as soon as Shazam and stuff like that came out, it was just full of people like with their phone under their table. Do you know this tune? It's like, boop, Shazam. And I was just like, this sucks. And people Googling answers, and it's like, then they start banning phones, and then all of a sudden people have to run to the toilet a lot because they're like in the toilet Googling like, who sung this song or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, phones definitely ruined trivia at pubs the whole time. And in fact, because I'm just like, whatever, I don't really care about winning enough, so I'm not going to use my phone. But the other week I was with a friend and we went to a pub trivia night, and she was like looking up some of the answers. I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
You've ruined our
integrity. We don't know. We haven't won, so that's fine.
And the problem I have, there's the two kinds of marking. There's the ones where they get collected and they get marked, which I prefer, or the one where you swap sheets.
Yeah.
And the problem I found with the swap sheets is we were at a trivia night once. But the team next to us was really competitive and really vindictive, where it was an answer similar to like 2000 Space Odyssey or 2001 A Space Odyssey, where you're like, they pretty much got it, but they would never, ever give you a mark because they wanted to win. So they're like, no, it's slightly wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, man. I hate people like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, calm down. It's
they
just
need the PowerPoint that goes up there that says, tell me which boxes have the signpost in it.
Yeah.
You're like, now that's trivia I can't Google. The bot,
the bots can't
AI doesn't know. AI doesn't know. But what is the poll? Is the sign the poll?
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
Let's get into it on Reddit. This first one is by Ninan. And this was a picture of a guy, and he was a mugshot.
Okay.
He'd just been arrested.
Yep.
It said, lottery winner arrested for dumping $200,000 of manure on ex-boss's lawn.
Does he look happy in the mugshot?
He looks so happy. Yeah. He's actually laughing at the mugshot. That's how smug he is. Yeah. He's just like, this is awesome.
Because he can pay his bail.
Yeah,
he knows that.
Well, so we're assuming he won more than $200,000.
That's true.
That'd be even
Because
better.
he might have gone, I'll spend every last cent that I just won on shit to dump on your lawn. And then he's like, now I'm in prison.
No, I think he did win the whole lot because he's laughing. If he had spent the whole lottery, he would have had a very smug look, but not like a, haha, this is just funny look, like a, I'm proud of myself.
Or it could have been that moment where he's like, I can't get out of here.
He's
like,
exactly.
I've sold myself really short.
I'm in jail for 10 years now. Damn it.
I'm not in the manure trade, but I would imagine that $200,000 gets you a hell of a lot of manure.
Yeah, that seems
well,
like
it depends what manure.
Well,
Could be some fancy manure,
like a Tasmanian tiger manure.
I don't know. No, I'm thinking like, I don't know, a pregnant Tibetan woman.
Okay,
that's got to be pretty rare. That's got to be hard to get. Okay,
I'm assuming if you just got a big truck and offered to empty portaloos for nothing, that you could have done.
Yeah,
that
but
for
then
free.
that mixes with the normal non-pregnant waste of other people.
But do you want to give your boss, who presumably you don't like, good manure?
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
He just gets another
so
truck, loads it up, sells it.
I think you'd go the low-grade manure because that's more of an insult, and the higher quantity of it.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he could have like a beautiful garden.
That's what I mean. If they're like, is this Tibetan pregnant woman manure?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, fancy. Oh.
Those petunias are going to come up with love.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to be going up in no time.
That's right. Just like he just sprays it with 100,000 seeds.
Yeah.
You know, like it's right around Valentine's Day. Boom! Look at that.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Roses everywhere.
He makes like $1 million off selling the flowers in his yard.
Well, I mean, not even on manure. I mean, one of the things that baffles me is, you know, you can buy horse manure, cow manure, whatever.
Yeah.
But chicken manure you can buy. Like, who's collecting that? Are you using, what do you use to collect that? A paint scraper?
Yeah,
Like, how do you
that's
collect?
true.
Have you ever seen bird shit? Like, how do you collect that?
Yeah, that would be
seems
really hard. I feel like you'd have to collect so much.
I know.
That might be more pricey than pregnant Tibetan.
It's like the caviar of manure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Small, little, round. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean,
it checks out. It checks out.
I was thinking like the smaller quantities make the value higher because it's harder to get.
Yeah, well, I guess that too.
But small and round, yeah.
Yeah. But I just thought that, you know, do you reckon that was the best justice of, you know, spending $200,000 to get back at your boss?
Oh, no. For $200,000, you could renovate his house.
Yeah.
Which would be a far better...
That's true. Actually, have we spoken about... I feel like you've spoken about this before on the podcast, I have a feeling. Yeah, you just change everything by like an inch out.
Oh, you just like narrow all the doorways.
Yeah.
Make the ceiling slightly lower.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a very good one. But I feel like that would cost you a lot more than $200,000. I reckon. To change an entire house, make it look exactly
Not an
the same.
entire house, Nelson. Just like a room of the house significantly.
Okay.
Yeah, like board up his lounge room.
I think you could do that by just breaking in with, you know, $100 worth of timber and some nails.
But you could also, like, because obviously dumping manure is illegal, right? Hence you got arrested. But you could do so many non-illegal things for that money. Put up billboards all down his street or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I know a guy who does billboards.
Well, get in contact with Rowan.
Okay.
He'll get in contact with his friend.
That's right. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
What about like just like something more subtle, like getting a locksmith to change his locks every day?
Exactly.
Just every day he rocks up. What?
And there's always like a lock for him somewhere. And he has to find it every day. He's like, oh, where is it today? It's like in the kennel or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I would just be the better man and be like, hey, I've got more money than you now, so you have to live in your crappy house. How about that? Buy a house next to his. It's a huge mansion.
Buy a house either side of his. No, that's $200,000. So that's not really going to...
Well, I guess he's probably got more than this. It
Yeah.
was just the crime.
Well, if it was American lot, I mean, what do they win? $350 million or...
Yeah,
That's
theirs is
stupid,
crazy.
like, oh, man, that's a lot.
Theirs is so, like, actually... Because I've thought before, oh, man, I'd love to win the lottery. But honestly, some of the you know, the jackpots in Australia, it's like... Well, I reckon I'd be okay with that money, but I don't think I could live this like lavish lifestyle. I'd probably still have to get a job or something, or you know, it's just not as glamorous.
Yeah.
But yeah, in America, it's freaking crazy.
Win the Australian lottery, win $300,000.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that would do well.
$20 million split with, you know, 26 people.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's
great.
right.
I can almost buy a house.
Yeah, that's right. Imagine that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because I think if I want to win the lottery, I want at least a house worth and then extra money so I don't have to work again.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of the time it's like, you win like $2 million. I'm like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I'll buy a house.
And then you might just get a bit shirty with your boss.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit passive aggressive. You're like, don't fire me. I don't want to get fired. I still need this job.
Change his decaf to regular.
But like that's enough money to like buy a really nice house and maybe impress a girl in a bar. Like, you know, I won $2 million. Like, you know, it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily your life is over. You don't have to worry about anything ever again.
You can impress a girl who only values you for your money. It's a really good plan.
Rowan,
do you like me? No, I don't like you. I just won $2 million.
Rowan, this is the type of girl I'm into.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, that's important.
Because that personality of mine is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm not getting anywhere now. So I may as well use money.
$2 million won't hurt.
Can I just say, why don't you just say that anyway, but say, but I don't want you to judge me for my money, so I dress like I don't have any money.
Okay.
And, I just keep a lowbrow kind of job.
Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He's not a man about town in a three-piece suit. He's wearing hoodies and sneakers.
So that's your claim.
Yeah.
Your claim is,
Yes,
I've got $2 million, but I'm being smart about it.
No, go for gold. Say $1 billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Brilliant. Say you're Mark Zuckerberg.
That's true.
They might not know.
No.
They would.
Yeah. They'll be like, no, you're just not.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into Today I Learned.
So now it's time for Today I Learned. Let's play the intro to that.
Today I Learned. This Today I Learned is by Eggvan. Today I learned of the world's biggest liar event, an annual competition for telling lies held in Cumbria, England. Competitors have 5 minutes to tell the most convincing lie they can, and politicians and lawyers are banned because they are judged to be too skilled at telling porkies.
You know what I'd be like if I got the invite to this? I'd be immediately suspicious about when it is and where it is. Okay. If it's a lying convention and they're like, it's on at this day, at this time, like, oh, is it though?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know when to turn up.
That's true. But then if enough people turned up, wouldn't that be when the event
Wow.
is?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a good
you
question.
really just need people.
What is a convention?
Yeah. There's just one guy, he's organising it like, oh, I've done the best lie. And then he turns up on the actual date and he's like, oh, nobody's here. Probably should have told them
That's
the right
what I
time.
mean. If you went to a lying convention and it started the date and the time they said, you'd be like, this is off to a terrible start.
Yeah, that's right. Like,
But is that Today I Learned post the lie?
oh,
Yeah, okay, I see what you're
that's
doing.
very meta. Okay, well, let's move on then.
Sorry, I'm just here to keep things on time. I'm like,
Yeah.
not running over
Let's
an hour
only talk
today.
about factual things.
Those Today I Learn's like it's sort of like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. And then like, oh, and politicians kind of it's like, really?
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
true.
You just undercut yourself, like.
Yeah.
That sounds like whoever's invented it so he could make that rule to be like, yeah, take that, politicians.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can't
they'd be
because
really
you're already
upset.
too good at lies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It was really just a political thing.
Yeah.
That keeps them
Kind
awake
of
at
as
night.
a-
The politicians are lying there going, oh, I can't believe I can't go to that convention.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
really
I would be
annoys me.
so good.
Think of all the voters I could get.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was kind of wondering how this worked.
Yeah.
Because you have a person that goes up on stage and tells the best lie they can. I mean,
You know
you're
they're
like, well,
lying.
that's a lie.
Yeah.
You're literally here to tell lies.
So they have to tell 3 things and then one of them's a lie.
Oh, maybe
Maybe or
that's
something.
Maybe
Did you
that's-
click the article, Nelson?
Oh, please. Okay. Well, how about we train for this?
Okay.
We go to the world's biggest liar event.
I've been training a couple episodes ago. I said it was episode 86, but in fact I knew it was only episode
really?
83,
Yeah.
and no one picked up on it.
Why don't you just start misnumbering your episodes?
Yeah.
Like, episode 300, like, that's next week.
And just occasionally we'll have the correct episode. you
Yeah,
know?
but you really have to like listen and count yourself to know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, is this 91? Oh, I don't know.
Do you know, I don't think it was the best lie that you said episode 86 that day, because listeners would have to click on the episode, which was titled the correct number. So as soon as you said, they're like, what? This guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I think the idiot side came out more than the lie side.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, I'm just beginning. All right, I
Yeah.
didn't say I was ready for the
Okay.
convention.
All right.
I'm not convention ready.
Okay. Well then, Camby.
That was a lie. I am convention ready. You guys are idiots.
Oh. But are you?
No.
Okay, Camby. Tell us 3 things.
Yep.
One of them has to be a lie, and we'll
I don't-
determine.
Okay.
We'll determine if you're a good liar or not.
No, you see, you know me
I know.
too well.
I know you pretty well.
I know
Okay, you
this
do
is
it.
too,
Okay,
sure.
I have
You
to
do it to
Potential
Rowan.
cousin.
Okay, let me think about this. So wait, 3 things, and 2 of them true, 1 of them a lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So start with the 2 truths.
But you listen, and the problem is you listen to the podcast
Yes,
a lot.
sir.
Look,
This is
I
gonna
know
be
more
very
about
hard.
what you say on the podcast than you do. Because
Like,
you're every week.
you
You're like,
honestly
what
do.
did I say last week?
In my head, I'm trying to think of things that I haven't said on the podcast, and I don't know any of them.
I feel like I'm studying to be a professor, and my field of expertise is this podcast. And I feel like I'm slowly wasting my life.
Yeah, it's like going to uni for like 5 years and coming out being like, oh, what have I
I'm
done?
like Charles Darwin studying barnacles for however long he did, you know?
I'm
like,
just going to go like weird, like medical things.
okay.
Oh, this is okay.
I'm double jointed. I have a heart murmur and I have a very rare blood type.
Ooh, I'm going to say the lie is the heart murmur.
It's the double jointed. I'm not double jointed.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, congratulations on the heart murmur.
Convention ready.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's going to get me out of a couple of wars, the old heart murmur.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
What does
the
it
other
say?
one? Venereal disease. No, I can't remember. What was the other
I have a
one?
rare blood type.
Oh, red blood type. Oh, just remember that.
What is it?
Something. I don't know.
Oh, negative. It's what I got. Everybody can
Is it?
have it.
It's,
Well, statistically, what is this? 2 out of 3?
Yeah, it's like a weird offshoot of O negative, I think.
Maybe just O. I think O's rare. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But O negative is semi-rare, but it's the only blood type where everybody can have it. I
Yeah, but
think.
you can only
that's
have
right.
that blood.
I
Yes,
can
that's
only have O
right.
negative.
So you're a high risk.
Yeah,
really.
I can give mine to everyone, I think.
Yeah, but they can't have you.
But I can only have
yeah,
mine.
that's right.
Luckily, though, my brother also
I
has
think that's O negative.
I don't know.
Because
Well-
that's what I've got, O negative. And that's the thing. It's that we can give our blood to everyone.
Yeah.
But
can
we
only
can
have-
only have O negative.
Well, at least you two live together.
it
I mean,
was-
that's kind of handy.
I don't know that much about my blood, but it was rare enough that one time I picked up a girl who worked as a blood donator, and she's like, "What is your blood type?" And I said it. She's like, "Oh, like it was,
So you're like,
yeah,
it was a pickup.
It
sort of
impressed the
thing.
blood girl." So
You're
then,
like, I've got $2 million. She's like, And you're like, but I am O negative. She's like, wow.
Whoa.
Hello.
hubba, yeah.
I think she wanted to
some
sell your blood on the black market. You would have woken up in a bed, tied down,
that's
just like
right.
selling it.
Just everything. Kidneys,
Well,
blood,
actually,
whatever.
I don't know my blood type. I probably should. But interestingly, when I used to ride a motorbike, on the inside of the motorbike jacket, there was a little label printed, like name and stuff, in case you lost it or left it somewhere.
Yeah.
It actually had a spot for your blood type. And I thought, there's a safety reminder for you when you're on a motorbike.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
this
right.
is when you get into the car. Don't worry about it. But if you're on a motorbike, you
Yeah.
should know your blood
Yeah,
type.
just
Write it on your jacket.
if you're gonna ride a motorbike, just pop down some of your details just in case. you
Yeah.
know.
I'd like that there's also just more columns that are like,
Yeah.
who do you want to give your money to?
Yeah, that's right. Next of kin. Yeah, that's right.
Just sign it at the bottom.
Yeah.
Get your lawyer to sign here.
Resuscitate, yes, no, and you have to tick one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I guess technically good lying.
Thank you.
Gambit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did it really quick, though. I feel like maybe it needs to be in future. I'm just saying because they had to talk for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
wasn't
right.
going to make you. I wasn't going to make you do it just then.
Yeah.
But you've started off well.
Yeah. Okay.
But if we want to make it to this convention, then I think you're going to have to do like sentences at a time.
I'll train every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's do another one. This is by Firey. Today I learned that for $50,000 you can harvest a dog's DNA to create a genetically identical embryo, aka cloning.
Yeah. I celebrated this recently. I think it was Bette Midler.
Really?
Yeah, she had her dogs cloned because they passed away.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is too much money.
She was on the cover of a magazine. I think it was Bette Midler. It might not be.
Okay.
But Nelson's recently made a rule that I can't look things up during the show, so
That's
I
true.
can't confirm that.
Yeah.
good rule.
Well,
I'll look
okay,
it
wait.
up.
Let's just talk this out.
Yeah.
How interesting would it be for you to take like 30 seconds now to look that up and
Oh.
go, "Yep, it was Bette Midler." I'm glad I made that rule.
Or it was like, oh no, it was someone else. The facts don't really change.
yeah.
But yeah, she cloned her dogs because she was so attached to them, and she has that kind of stupid money, I guess. Mm-hmm. So instead of buying a new dog, she just cloned her
That's
exact
stupid
dogs.
money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really
That's
is.
a good term, stupid money.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, should be a hashtag or something. I don't even know if I'd bother to clone Bette Midler for 50. You know, Bette Midler died. We liked her. Well, pictures was okay, but she really went downhill from there. She was on Seinfeld for a while.
I think
But 50 grand? No.
I think it'd be interesting though, because obviously cloning somebody doesn't mean that they're going to have the same personality
No.
once
Yeah.
they grow up. You know, if you did clone Bette Midler, you'd just be the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
You just look the same and maybe have similar tendencies.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
psychologically.
That would kind of be interesting, I guess, to
Yeah.
see what those similar tendencies would be.
Well,
You're
this
like,
has
oh.
been explored in depth in the 1990s comedy Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, Nelson. It's a very serious study of the cloning of a human and its ethics, but also a lot of hijinks.
Yes, lots
Yeah.
of hijinks.
Okay.
Which would happen, no doubt.
Yeah, well,
If you see-
if you're cloning Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
you're going to get hijinks.
You see 16 versions of yourself.
Yeah.
I think I'll stick with him as Batman.
Yeah, but I thought this is I sort of think it's really cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I always love the idea of cloning myself.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then, I mean, the problem, okay,
It's going to have to get a lot cheaper. for that to happen.
obviously the problem is, or I could sell everything that
Yeah.
I have,
Yeah.
scrape together $50,000, create another me, and then I could work 2 jobs.
Yeah. But then you
And
each
then-
have to have, because you need separate accommodation. Like, you can't sleep
We
in
can
the-
sleep in the same bed. It's not weird if it's me.
But you eat double the food, you use double the water.
Yeah, well, I mean, we would just... we could have
get
showers together. Again, it's not weird. It's just me.
Nelson, just get a girlfriend.
Yeah, but... Look, I don't know. $50,000 isn't going to get me a girlfriend.
Why does this world need
2
2
million
people that
might.
are like mildly committed to their job?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need more of
that's
it. You know when people go, hey, you're at work and they go, oh, if only we could clone you. Has anyone ever said that to you?
Yeah.
Never-
I've said that to me.
They're like, if only we could fire you or make you redundant or something.
But that's what I would use it for, right? I would have this agreement with my cloned self.
Yeah.
That I'd be like, okay, let's work a day each. You know, during the week.
Does your work know
somebody
that it's
can have
not
a
the same person?
Well, obviously not.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need a twin.
Yeah.
Do you think
yeah.
that's how twins work? You're
I
like,
reckon that's
I'm
how-
the boss, you're not. You know, I came out 3
No,
minutes
that's
earlier
why,
than you
because
did.
I've thought about that, and that's why I feel it needs to be fair that you do one day each of
Yep.
work, because otherwise one just ends up being the slave, and I feel like that's, and then they would kill you, and then who would know because it's your clone?
Well, it's a bit prestigious.
It is a bit prestige, yeah.
Yeah,
No spoilers. but
spoilers.
Great movie.
But yeah, I think that's how I'd use it. I just feel like because there's days where just want to sleep in, watch TV for a while.
What are you saying, days? Every day.
Well, yeah, that's true. Every day I want to do that.
Yeah.
But the problem is
Yeah.
that I feel like I want to be able to then transfer data
Okay.
between me and my clone.
So his knowledge is yours and your knowledge is his.
yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Okay, now you're getting into the realm of what I like to call magic.
Okay. Is it though? I mean, we learned to clone people, Cambo.
Yeah.
People once upon a time would have said that's magic.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Yeah,
what
damn straight.
What if you two
But
were like...
Nelson, this doesn't also mean you're right with your point.
I think it does.
Because you're right about one thing doesn't make you right about whatever else you're talking about.
That's how arguments work, I think.
Yeah,
That's logic
exactly.
right there.
If I prove you wrong, regardless, I'm right. Okay.
Forever else.
Yeah.
How would it be, though, like, plot twist, you two are clones, but it was when they were just still working out the technology. And they just kind of stuffed it up.
It's true.
Yeah.
And so you are living that life at the moment.
Because we tend to find
Okay.
that if a girl is attracted to one of us, she's normally attracted to the
That's
other.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get you to fight.
Oh, the fights we've had.
The duel.
Yeah, God. No, we really haven't.
But is there a problem with, like, if you're cloning something? I mean, with a dog dying, I can understand if people wanted to do that, like, with a child, say, untimely death of a child, and you think, oh, I've got to clone my kid. But, when things get old and die, that's just part of life, right? That's part of your journey, not going, I just want to preserve everything.
Yeah,
And what annoys me as a dog lover is there's so many dogs that need a home.
Yeah, that's right.
The arrogance of being like, I don't want to help another dog.
Yeah.
I just want to clone my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some poor dog needs you to adopt it.
Yeah.
But instead, you've just created out of nothing
Yes.
a new dog.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also, those are the same people that would buy their dogs from a puppy mill anyway, so it's equally as bad.
You could start a puppy mill for 50,000.
Oh.
And we will.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Odelay. Yeah, just Odelay.
I was really worried when I was coming onto this podcast that
Yeah.
one of the things you were going to make me do is read out all the names.
If I have a
Like,
difficult one,
this is by...
I'm
I
gonna-
can't read it because it's, it's good listening to, Cambo make fun of you doing it each week.
yeah.
Now you get to join in. You
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah, idiot.
I've just had a look. Oh, no, there's a good one later on.
Okay.
I will get you to do that.
I should have saved that to the end, shouldn't I?
Don't show a
I
weakness,
just
Rowan.
and read you later. Oh, by the way, I should have saved it. Oh, all right.
All right.
I'll cop that.
Okay, so Odelay says, ever wonder if the bank just looks through your account and thinks, what the fuck is this person doing?
All the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I buy so much unnecessary crap all the time.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was thinking, Rowan, I feel like it would be interesting from your perspective.
Oh, yes.
Because obviously you went, you got married and have had kids. Obviously, I feel like your spending pattern has become perhaps erratic.
Yeah.
To need to tighten the budget.
Do you think, like, banks play a game, say, between, like, my spending and your spending is, do they have a kid?
Yeah, they predicted like analysis. They're just analytics.
Because, you get the, and I used to be like this more, I mean, I'm still like this a bit, I buy comics and stuff like that. But, like, is this a late 20s man that needs to mature, or does he have a young child?
Yeah, that's true. And because what I was thinking the other day is not necessarily the sporadic spending that I have, but if they knew more about the information of like why I was spending it on something.
Right.
A couple of things that I could think of is one, actually, just before we were talking about all the Dungeons and Dragons stuff that I bought.
Yeah.
I bought like 6 dice sets. I bought 2 books and some figurines, and it ended up costing quite a lot of money, like maybe almost $200 or something like that. And I haven't used any of that yet. And I feel as though they're like, oh, this guy, he's getting really into D&D. And, I imagine them thinking about it now, like, oh, that guy, he bought lots of D&D stuff. Oh, I bet you he's really into it now. It's like, no, I just kind of splurged one day and have not got around to doing that yet.
Yeah, I like to buy a lot of stuff on potential. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of board games and stuff going, I'm going to play that one day.
Yeah, that's right.
And, it's just like, how's that game? You're like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still in a shrink wrap. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I watched a review on it. It looked really good.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think they'd also probably look at you and go, he had $3.70 left in his bank account. And he bought a chocolate sundae from McDonald's at 3 a.m. What sort of loser is this guy? Now he's got, 6 more days to payday and he's got nothing.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But I even thinking about like one of their costumes I made a little while ago, which was
this
Jurassic Park diorama, which was brilliant, by the way.
I didn't know what that was called until you made it, and like it's a diorama. I'm like, that's what that is.
Yeah,
no, it's a piece of shit.
$120. I still remember.
If you go to a museum and they have a diorama, expect it to be more than some dinosaur toys in a cardboard box.
Please, dioramas aren't amazing. All right, they're kind of crap anyway. I spent $120.
It's a box. Like the dinosaurs. Were they actual like baby dinosaur fossils or what? Like you go to the reject shop, you get a whole ton of these dinosaurs, and you're like, $120.
It was it made me realize that people that do like model areas or whatever, their own
like
dioramas and train sets and whatever, they must spend a lot of money. Like there is a whole market out there that I've never thought of before, that I've realized they just spend tons and tons of money on these stupid things. Because one of the most expensive things I spent it on was just this paper that was like kind of acted like fake grass. And that was like probably $40 for a meter.
Have you ever been into a hobby shop? I don't know what their pricing model is, but it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that's right. An actual hobby shop.
Like little paint things. They're like $40 for a little tub of paint.
Yeah.
Well, you need to watch Play School, because they'll make anything out of anything. They'll be like,
That's true.
hey, we needed this, and it's just like the lamest looking thing.
Yeah,
But
it's a toilet roll. It's always a toilet roll.
Yeah, that's right. Always a toilet roll.
Paper plate is very common.
I made a Captain America shield out of 2 paper plates that I stapled together to give him extra, strength.
Okay.
And then cut another one with a little arm bit, more staples, so like you could put your arm through it.
Yeah.
Worked a treat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I would
Stop bullets?
and lightsabers recently. Lightsabers, toilet rolls, you cut them and then you tighten them up a bit. Some coloured paper. Shove some more like cardboard down the centre, gives it some structural integrity.
So you know what this is.
You've
right?
definitely got kids.
Yes, I definitely do.
You know what this is? What you're doing right now is, when you were a kid and you're like, Dad, I want a lightsaber, and he's like, I can make you a better lightsaber
that's right.
than you'd buy at the store.
We don't need a McDonald's burger. I can make you a burger.
Exactly.
I'm just going to use bread instead of a bun, though.
You've now done that with the lightsabers and the shields.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
son, I know we could go and buy you a shield.
Yeah.
But old Papa here, he's going to make you one better than any store.
Your kid is getting teased mercifully. definitely.
Pretty much.
And in kindergarten or whatever, all these friends have got these awesome masks and stuff.
Well, interestingly, I split open a kid across the road, his cousin, when I don't know how old I was, maybe 10, and I had a toy lightsaber, and it was hard plastic, long thing, and I hit him in the face and split his eye open, like his eye, like his eyebrow.
Yeah.
And you said, never again.
So that's why I'm like,
cardboard and paper.
Yeah, you get cardboard. That's right, cardboard and paper for you.
Yeah.
But like the Woolies and the Coles, sort of those rewards things, flybys and stuff. I'm sure they do that profiling thing because if you buy something and you scan your everyday rewards cards or whatever, and you scan it, and then all the offers you start to get through that are digital. It's like, hey, do you want to buy more nappies? They're on special. Like,
like we say almost every episode, every company ever is tracking all of your data all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Except for this, I don't think they listen to this.
Oh, we track every listener's data. We have a profile on every listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All six of them.
Yes. No, but
as we get them on.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's good, though.
Me too.
I really like the idea of just being advertised to that's relevant to me.
Targeted advertising.
Exactly.
Like,
that's
I'm
why
sure
I hated all the people against Facebook and blah, blah, all that kind. I'm like, whatever. I would much prefer seeing ads that are relevant to me.
I'm sure you'd prefer things like nappies coming up than, like, say, cat food if you don't have a cat. Well, this is annoying.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. But then maybe you would want a cat. And then you want to clone that cat. Where am I going with this? I don't know.
I don't have 50 grand to clone it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, here's another one. This is by The Passion of the Chris.
Okay.
I like how I was like, it was all right.
Kind of clever, yeah.
As a kid, the thought of living in a huge house was magical. As an adult, the thought of living in a huge house causes anxiety about the cleaning required. This is true.
Yeah.
I have anxiety about our small apartment.
Yeah.
This place is surprisingly clean, though. I'm pretty impressed.
We get that more often than you'd expect, which is, it's a real backhanded compliment, that one. It's like, it's in one hand, it's like, oh, it's a nice clean apartment. On the other hand, it's like, my opinion of you was much lower than this.
Well, I'm just it's very stereotypical.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're an interesting, like, I don't know, are you millennials or are you Gen Y?
I think are we technically millennials?
Yeah, we're millennials.
Because, I'll tell you what I don't understand about, like, millennial-ish kind of people. I bought something recently on Gumtree.
Yep.
It's like, and I went to pick it up, and it was $50.
Yeah.
And so I went, and the guy brought it out to me. It was like a high-pressure cleaner thing, right? Yep. So he brought it out to my car, and I went to hand him the $50, and he said, oh, no, just transfer the money to me. It will be easier. and I was so caught off guard. I just went, okay, sure. And what I should have said is, no, this is easier. I literally just released my fingers while you close your fingers on this $50 note. So then I went home and had to wait for him to send through his bank details. And you've got to add it to your thing, and then you get the text message.
Wait, didn't you already have it? By then I'd be like, fuck you. I tried to pay you.
But, I've got a high degree of integrity.
Yeah.
With that sort of thing. But see, I don't understand young people today.
Yeah, oh my God, that is so weird. And, it is funny the fact that he trusted you as well enough to then be like, oh no, you leave now and then just transfer it to me. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know, that is super strange to me.
Yeah.
So I am stereotyping a bit, but yeah, it's very nice. A bit minimalist. Cool stuff around, but not too much stuff. So
yeah.
We went through a stage of, I think, just getting rid of all our shit that we didn't really want.
It's true. And we've got a shelf, but it's organized in a way that's not just cluttered full of junk everywhere.
That's true.
We're not your average millennials, Rowan.
No, that's right.
Though we do have a podcast, which is a very millennial thing to do.
Yes.
And I work in social media.
Yeah.
And I don't handle cash.
Yeah. Ticking a lot of boxes here, I must say.
Okay, this next one is by... okay. This is by Bulldog4354. Don't use a toilet in a dream. It's a trap.
Oh man, that is so true.
So, how many times has it happened to you guys?
Honestly, I don't think it ever has, but there's been the close calls.
Okay, yeah.
Like waking up and being like, I have 4 seconds to get to that bathroom, or I'm going to pee everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I have because I reckon it's happened to me like when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then you learn. I feel like you instinctively wake up, but there'll be times where I have a dream, I use the toilet, and I wake up in the split second. I'm like, oh my God, I've definitely pissed myself because I just went to the toilet in my dream, and I'm like, oh nope, still dry. All right, good.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not going to go to the toilet.
I'll risk this one for another 5 minutes.
Yeah. No.
Do you have this? You've got young kids now. They toilet trained yet?
Yeah.
Oh
Zach-
yeah, you've got older kids.
Well, Zach's 5 nearly, so he's pretty good. But he does the I don't need a wee.
Yeah,
grabbing onto, like holding onto himself. I don't need. I'm just marching.
Yeah,
I'm just marching.
yeah.
So, but he's very good. Yeah, he's a
Okay.
very smart kid. He's just like, boom, I'm up.
Have you told him about if you're having a dream, don't go to the toilet?
No, I haven't
I
actually.
feel like that's a good piece of
That is
advice.
good. That should be like an LPT.
Yeah.
But a life parenting tip, not a life pro tip.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Tell your kid
Or a
don't
public
do
service announcement.
it. Yeah,
okay.
unfortunately.
Get on primetime TV during, like, I don't know, like Young Sheldon or whatever the new big show is. Like, just an FYI. I guess the government can pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I reckon get Play School to do it. They'll do like a bit of a song about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in a dream and you need a pee.
If you want to make some
Wake
cash,
up.
though, children's book.
Oh.
They like children's books with messages these days.
Don't trust the toilet in your dreams by Campbell and Nelson.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I'll illustrate it. I can't
Yeah.
draw. No. You can draw.
That's fine. We can't write either.
If you listen to last week's episode, you know that anyone can draw, Rowan.
Oh, that's true. I'll be a consultant because I've got the kid.
Okay, all right, that's good.
That's good work.
I like the idea that we just like fear kids into never wanting to go to the toilet as well. That
Yeah.
we just make it such a scary book that they never want to go to the toilet ever again.
I think there's 2 real risks for that dream in your life, which is when you're a little kid or when you've had too much to drink.
yeah,
Because you
that's
could be an
right.
adult and just be like, you're a bit out of it.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
it. Then you're in trouble.
Have you ever peed yourself because you're too
No,
drunk?
I have peed on the floor.
Okay,
Because I was peeing into the toilet at home,
Yeah, yeah.
and fell asleep against the wall while I was standing, and woke up and went, "Oh, I've pissed all over the floor."
that's everywhere.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That's pretty.
long time ago.
Sure.
I'm old and wise now.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. This is by Twin City Tico. Having your favorite band come visit you in the hospital is a good sign that you're fucked.
Yeah, well, isn't it the Marvel guys are all doing that? Captain America comes to visit you, you're like, oh
they
man,
do, yeah.
this
Yeah.
is not good.
Oh, God.
He walks straight past that other kid, straight to my bed. I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble.
They're spending
You're
extra long with me.
It can't be too bad. And then Iron Man walks in. You're like, oh my god, this is
Two
so
of them
good.
are
And then
shit.
Scarlett Johansson comes in. You're like, oh, that's it.
Oh my God, I've got like seconds left.
Scarlett Johansson's like, I know you're only 12, but I'm going to give you a lap dance. You're like, oh man, I've got hours to live, literally hours.
Yeah, that's right.
This is it. I'm gone.
Is there a if you were on your deathbed?
Yeah.
Is there somebody that you'd want to see, whether it's celebrity or otherwise?
I don't know if I'd go celebrity. I don't know. Someone I'd want to just ask a lot of questions. Maybe like a Julian Assange or something. Just be like, can you just tell me? Like, tell me
really?
everything you know.
Okay.
No, but the whole thing is he does tell everyone everything he knows.
Just get on WikiLeaks.
Literally.
I need an internet connection.
But someone
Yeah,
who,
but then you have to read.
someone who
That's true.
famously would know some information and be like, look, I'm going to die. Can you just tell me right now? Because I need to know. Like someone...
Kennedy assassination?
Yeah, something like
Maybe.
that. Be like, you know... Yeah, that's what I'd want. Because then I'd die being like...
Like a former head of the FBI or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all the,
Okay.
all the dirt. What do you think?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. I mean, I was just going to go for
Sarah Michelle Gellar or something.
a celebrity like that. Like, just try to get like a kiss. You know? That's
go
like-
on.
not anything too creepy, because obviously they're not going to go that far.
Well, it depends what you're dying of,
If
too.
I could-
It's highly
Oh, yeah.
contagious. Kiss me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm dying of contagious mouth cancer.
right.
But I just feel like I'd be like, how to win? Because it would also be, they still might be like, oh, this is a bit awkward. And I'm a 28-year-old guy. It's not like I'm some young child that's like, oh, I've never had my first kiss. But I would just like to have that win, just that one win before I die. Man, there are men all over the world that wish that they could kiss this.
Right. Who would it be?
Ryan Gosling, obviously.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's good. And I reckon he's a cool guy. He'd do it.
He would totally
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, that's right. Maybe also, I would eat cereal with Ryan Gosling. It's
Okay,
weird.
yeah. I get that.
It's going to get fetishy all of a sudden. It's going to get very weird.
Well, are you aware of this meme, Rowan?
It was pretty old.
Ooh,
It's pretty
maybe.
old.
Is that the one where you had Macaulay Culkin?
No. That was a
No,
different
that
thing.
was funny too.
It,
That was
it,
funny.
it was this guy, and he had like Ryan Gosling on the screen, like in movies, and he'd keep putting a spoon of cereal towards it.
It was Ryan Gosling won't eat his cereal.
That is bloody hilarious.
But then
that
guy actually passed away a couple of years ago, and as a tribute, Ryan Gosling sat down and ate a bowl of cereal in his memory. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Because it was Vines. It was the time that Vines peaked. So it was the Vine star, and then Ryan Gosling did a Vine eating cereal.
Oh, that was very good.
But so something. What are you thinking, Ryan?
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. Maybe get a bit philosophical. I don't know.
You're going to say something lame like your kids or something?
Right? No.
You see them all the time.
No. Ooh, but if it was like, a big name, like it could be anyone. I don't know.
Is there anyone that you just want to ask a question to?
What if
I feel like I'd do that now if I had it. I'd just see if they're listening.
Yeah. Okay. What if you could just leverage your situation? Not necessarily for like meeting somebody,
right?
But like, for example, if I could, I would want to sit down with Joss Whedon.
Yep.
And get him to tell me what he had in store for the rest of the Firefly series.
Okay, right.
Oh yeah.
I reckon that'd be really, because he's like, I've never told anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone.
See,
I would leverage my deathbed thing.
I'd want to leverage it for something to make him uncomfortable, I think.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, Joss, big fan, love the Avengers, love Firefly. How many times did you cheat on your wife?
That
whole thing came out? What happened there?
Yeah.
Maybe Tiger Woods then for me. So sex addiction.
Can you name all of them?
Yeah, that's right. Do you photos? Yeah, just any sort of anything you've got.
Just bro out with Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bro out with someone.
Yeah, how creepy could you get?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, should we move on? Yeah, okay. Sure. Let's move on. Let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. Okay. This first one is by Yenzi. Similar to resting your eyes after shutting off your alarm, what are some of life's most dangerous mini games?
I think the snooze button is a terrible idea as well.
Yeah, that's true.
In the resting your eyes thing.
Same sort of...
I use it all the time, but I wish it wasn't a function.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Okay, this is totally kind of off topic, but I remember I had a alarm clock that if you set the alarm after midnight, it would go through a full 24 hours before it did it again.
You've told us
I was
this,
late so many times. Really annoying. Anyway, sorry. What
so many times. You didn't learn the first time. It's like,
no, well, I actually couldn't work it out for ages because I was like, the alarm is set. Why didn't it go off?
Because it is a very impractical thing.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not like you're like, it must be going on 24-hour cycles or,
Yeah, because I imagine it would be much harder to program an alarm to wait the 24 hours rather than just do that next time period. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember, it's one of the things when I drive, I can get pretty tired, as most people can. And one of the things I've become more and more aware of, and, you got to be careful of is having power naps and stuff. So now, I drove to Queensland a while ago, and if I started to get tired at all, just pull over a 20-minute power nap.
Yeah.
But I remember back when you sort of don't realise, when you're learning to drive and you start doing bigger drives that. When you're starting to get tired, you just don't just kind of see the signs. And I remember thinking at one point, maybe if I just close one eye and drive like that for a minute and then swap and close the other eye just for a little bit, maybe that'll work.
And I was about to say, my dad literally does the same thing. When he used to drive around the country a lot, he'd just like, I just have micro sleeps. He said, just one eye at a time at the lights. Yeah. Or he said sometimes he'd close his eyes. He'd only do it at the lights, right? So he's behind somebody else. And he'd close his eyes till they're almost completely closed, and just so he could see the brake lights of the car in front of him. And when they went off, he was like, all right, time to go again.
I heard a similar story that was like, you pull up at the lights, go to sleep like at night, you're just so tired. You literally pull up at the lights, go to sleep, and just wait for someone, like put your handbrake on, just wait for someone to get behind and honk.
And beep you,
so if it was quiet, maybe there's no cars around for 5 minutes, and someone pulls up, honk, you're at a green light, and you're like, all right, wake up, get going.
You have 3 sets of lights to go through before anybody's behind you.
There was a period that I was living a long way from where I worked. So it was taking me like an hour, maybe an hour and a half in the cold mornings to get to work, and I'd have to leave extra early. So I was always really tired when I was driving. And there were times there was 2 really, really big roundabout intersections. And I would always kind of be driving and realize I've already passed that intersection. I'm like, oh, man, I do not remember going through that intersection. I don't know whether I was present or whether I was completely zoned out. I have no memory of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I sort of think the same when, because I listen to a lot of podcasts in my car, and some of them, a lot of them are narrative. So I would just get lost in what they're talking about. And then, I'll come to consciousness again and I'll be like, oh, I'm home. Okay, this is good, I guess.
Well, I don't know when it was, maybe like 100 years ago or something like that. This is one of those facts that I really don't know. But they used to believe that, essentially when you would travel that fast, you would, your body could, explode or something like that, if you're going faster than 50 k's an hour in a vehicle. Yeah. And then they, nowadays it's like, I don't want to drive a manual because I want to be able to drive an auto so I can, have a sip of my drink while I'm eating my burger and I've got my cruise control on and I can kind of drive with my knee anyway.
Yeah. That's
so, that idea of what we concentrate on and that focus that we have or lack thereof, it's a weird thing because often, it's just like, I don't remember a lot of a journey.
Yeah. A lot of the time driving is secondary to whatever else you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to eat this pie and I've got to, text this person back and, I guess, there's a light here, I'll stop there.
Yeah, that's true. I think, because I remember when I was younger, the concept of, like, driving with my knees or just driving being second nature in general was a very strange concept. I was like, what? But now I reckon I drive with my knees pretty like probably 50% of the time because I'm like, whatever.
I hope that's an exaggeration.
He's just pretending he's got a Tesla. I mean, he's like, he's like talking to engage, automation, like automotive mode or automation, whatever it's called.
I mean, if you go on straight,
mode.
you don't really need to, do stuff, right?
No, that's right.
It's easy. Who needs hands to turn? Okay. That got off to like a quite different topic to what this was about.
Yeah, I forgot the original question.
What are some of life's most dangerous minigames?
Dangerous minigames.
You know what I thought actually was how much you leave on the toilet roll.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe you leave it empty,
right?
And you're like, I'll remember that before I go to the toilet.
Or you're like,
time.
It's like Russian roulette being like, but what if I'm the next guy in?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more like, okay, I'll change it the next time I need to go.
Yeah.
And I'll remember that there's none there.
Yeah. Another classic one is like a petrol light comes on as you're going home and you're like, tomorrow morning will be fine.
Yeah.
I'll allow myself time to go to the service station.
Yeah.
And even with phones too, I've got a lot of battery anxiety.
Yeah, okay.
I like to have everything charged up and ready to go. And my wife, she's the opposite, and it's it's very like, don't ask to use my phone if if your phone dies, you can't use my phone.
If someone uploads a screenshot of anything, the first thing I look at is their battery.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Kate. Like she'd be on like 1% and still looking at stuff. I'm like, are you crazy? What are you doing?
That's right.
And then I go and get my little portable battery, and I'm like, here you go. I just can't handle.
You're on 98%, but you're still like panicked.
Yeah, it just died.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do that until it dies?
My phone died the other day. I flipped my shit. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I'll just call Nelson. I can't call Nelson.
Yeah. You just sat by the PowerPoint as it was charging. Come on, little boy. You can come in.
I was like, have you seen those PowerPoint stickers at the airport and stuff that people are pranking with?
Yeah,
that's so cool. Like, people are just like tearing them off because they're getting so upset. You just go to charge up somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the sticker on the wall. That's good. That was that went around Reddit for quite a while, I reckon. Okay, here's another question for you. What is something that really freaks you out on an existential level? Oh, but this is by RadBrad7. I'm not going to say maybe freaks out is like too strong.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really going to freak out about anything.
Right, yeah.
But do you have like, what is some of your existential thoughts?
Just the vastness of the universe.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
Really, really, it blows the mind.
Yeah.
And after a while, I can't even comprehend it, and I just have to stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true.
Or even the edge of the universe, like the concept of no edge.
Yeah,
People are like, but it's just like a planet where, you walk around, you get back to where you started. It's like, no, it's not. I don't think it's like just like that.
Yeah, that's right.
But the problem is, no one knows, and that's the thing that really baffles me. Is like, we have theories, but no one knows.
Yeah. But even just if it is infinite, what is that? How is that even possible? Nothing in our life seems infinite, so, just so hard to explain, so hard to comprehend. But yeah, I think definitely sort of planets and beings is a big one for me. I always have this thing where if something comes up and I start thinking about, oh my God, I'm such a tiny thing in this fucking massive universe. I do like, they have in some movies where you kind of slowly zoom out and you see the city and then you see, the country and the world and then all these other planets. I kind of imagine that in my head. Right. I'll just be sitting at my desk or something. And then I'll imagine zooming out on me and just being like, God, there's so many other people just in the like apartments around me. And I think actually the other existential thing I look at is consciousness and how I'm the only one that's ever looked through my eyes.
Right.
So sometimes, kind of linked with that. I'm like, there's somebody, upstairs at the moment in the other apartment, and they've got their own consciousness. They're already looking at, and you're looking at me right now, and I think, what's he seeing?
You're right.
I try and imagine, like, what are you seeing when you look at me?
Like the
I see myself in
the red
mirror.
skin.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one saying that. But then just the fact that you have your own thoughts. If I'm thinking about, okay, what are you seeing? Then I start thinking about, well, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like,
this
Nelson guy's rambling a lot.
A lot of the times, nothing. To be honest.
Yeah, the Homer Simpson.
Monkey with little symbols.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a few of those things. Like I was thinking about magnetism recently, like just having two magnets.
Yeah.
And just the idea of that, I was just like, how the hell does that even work? Like you can, if you look at some sort of YouTube video explaining magnets, you go, yeah, okay, but
how
really?
actually?
And they don't even have a battery. Battery anxiety with a magnet.
They
just work. You're like,
there's a lot of things
right.
like
It's a weird force that we can't
but magnets are the kind of thing I can hear someone explain and be like, I get it, but I do not get it.
Yeah. I can get a compass and put it on my hand, and this little needle will point to the North Pole.
But I'm the same with. I think I've talked about in the shows. How do planes fly? I get that there is a science behind it with propulsion and all that, but I'm like, but it's a big, heavy metal thing.
Yeah.
It baffles my mind.
I did see something too the other day. I was talking about something like that, like an aeroplane or something, and it's like breaking the laws of physics. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think everything is within the laws of physics still.
It's actually impossible.
It's abiding by the law of physics.
That's
how
right.
that works.
Yeah. It's maybe impressive. It's cool, and it's doing something we've never done before. But I think it's still bound. I mean, what amazes me existentially is how for all the stars and all the stars in the universe and positioning, how that can just translate down into 12 personality types.
When you're born. Yeah, that's true. That is pretty interesting.
It's convenient though.
Although unless you're talking about cusps, I suppose. If you're like on the border.
Yeah, that's true. That can get real tricky.
Maybe there's 24 personality types. I don't know.
I think something else I think about is more about, I don't know, I guess how things work, but it is electricity. The idea of, or computing, how the idea is that's just zeros and ones, that either is or isn't electricity, and how that just translates to the most crazy thing. And thinking about it even in Wi-Fi terms, right? And I think about downloading an application on my phone. Yep. And I go, okay, so the internet somewhere has the data of this. Let's not get into that because that's really crazy. But then, so the signal, it picks up the signal saying, hey, you need to download this. But it's not downloading anything. It's just saying you need these zeros and ones in this place to make. It's just telling the battery when to release the electricity to then. To me, that is just so mind-boggling, and so I just can't understand how crazy that is, and how programming in general. You can say, I could program like some sort of animation on the screen, but again, that's just electricity going on and off. And that's it.
We talk into a microphone that goes into a computer, and then we press a button, and it goes into the inbox of a few hundred people. Yeah, it baffles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
All right,
that was deep.
That was pretty deep.
That was deep. Well, we should have started talking about God.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into that.
Because you know what I think, though, with existential ideas and crises or freakouts, that's where God came from. Is that I don't understand this. And even when you think about computing and things like that, you understand it in its evolution, because if you're there for its evolution when binary comes out, you think, I get binary ones and zeros and lights on and off.
Yeah, exactly.
But then once you're talking about microprocessors and stuff, it's so hard to start to fathom. You think about future generations who aren't there for that conception.
Exactly.
It's so far beyond that it's like, this is like magic.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
how does this work?
They just say, they're just told this is how this works, and then that's it.
There's
There's
just
no
a level
like,
of complexity that it's so hard to understand.
On the
Yeah.
other hand, I think God is real, so...
I agree. Which one?
And he,
All of them.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and he created electricity.
Yeah.
And magnets. And star science.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that is the interesting thing. Yeah, like you said, that's really how God came about, is about not understanding something. And that's why I find really strange is, why do we need to know? You know, I feel like the world would be far simpler if people would just were like, there's things I'm just not going to understand, that's fine.
Well, they say the smartest answer is, I don't know. Which is being brave enough to be like, you know what? I don't know that. I'm not going to try and make up something.
Yeah.
Fill you with bullshit. I don't know. I'll find out, but I don't know.
Yeah. I do that all the time when cop pulls me over and it's like, hey, how fast were you going? I don't know.
You're so smart, you tell me, officer.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, that's why I pulled you over. I'm here to tell you.
Okay. Well, that's it for Ask Reddit. We can move into the question 18.
Yeah, I thought you know.
I just sighed on behalf of the audience.
Well, I thought perhaps, you know, we explain every week, but maybe this week, Rowan, you could explain what this is.
This is tough. This is a segment that's really boring, and it started from another segment that was really boring, and these guys just won't let it go. Okay.
Ow.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, one thing I realised, in coming on here, I was thinking about, what I might say and not say. But if I like people, I tend to be, like, nasty to them. It's just like that, that childish primary school. Oh, he
pulling on the hair.
He hits you because he likes you. Like,
right.
if I don't give you shit, I probably don't like you that much. So I think that's part of being in our family, right, guys?
Okay. Does that mean that you do you give your kids shit?
Yeah, no.
Oh, see, so you hate your kids. So you've just admitted it right here on the show.
They're not ready to be manipulated psychologically to that level, I don't think.
Yeah.
But,
in a way, we're drawing this out to make this segment
far more interesting.
Yes.
All right, good. Well, so you guys had 36 questions that were hoping to make everyone love you.
Yes.
And I think you both fell in love at the same time as well.
Correct,
yeah.
And then you realised, we need some friend zone action. So you went straight into the friend zone with another 36 questions, and we're about halfway through.
Correct.
We wish we're halfway through. Are we that far?
Question 18.
Are we really?
I did math on the
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah,
I
it's true.
thought, for some reason, because this is taking an eternity, I thought we were at like question 8 or something.
There was a question. Sorry, I'm just dragging this out further.
That's fine.
When I think Bill was on the podcast recently, and you had to do a question. It was like it was a list of things, or it was a game, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you guys dragged it out for so long, saying how bad it was going to be. And I thought, you're dragging this out so much longer than it's actually going to go for, and that makes it much worse. But you know what? I was completely wrong, and you were right. That actual question was the bad part. So you were completely right. That whole question thing was really weird.
Oh, I just read it.
This one is very terrible. Okay, so this
good.
question 18 is, what is your favorite class at UCSC and why?
Yeah. So we've long theorized that this might be a university questionnaire.
I can tell you what university it is.
USSC? UCSC?
It's the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Okay. What is your favorite class at that university, Nelson, and why?
What would be?
Well, probably...
I'd look up a brochure, but we're not allowed.
pottery.
No, not allowed.
Okay.
Shall we turn into what was your favorite
I was
class?
going to say, what's your favorite class at high school or university if you happen to go there?
Or maybe what you would study?
Or what
If you
you
could be
would
bothered.
study.
If you could
Okay.
be bothered.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Go.
My favorite was in film school was screenwriting.
Okay.
And that's obviously because that's what I want to do. That's kind of my passion. It was kind of creative and fun, and it made me understand it as a craft rather than just like a thing that some people can do for some reason.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would study it more if I could be bothered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it's always funny too when you realise that something that you think almost you don't think of like as a discipline, or in an academic context that you can learn.
Yeah.
It's like drawing or anything like that. Some people
Anyone can draw. I saw it on TED Talk.
Yeah, I know. Did you even watch it? Did you click on the link?
I've watched it. It's bad.
Oh, did you? But like writing or acting or something like
Right.
that. I think a lot of people think, people if they can act and they're famous, or they could just do it, rather than thinking they might have had to commit and do a lot of work to actually get to that point. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a really big thing that people think, how people are so talented at this.
Yeah.
It's like they studied and they practiced.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's right. It's really hard.
It's like, it's
a skill.
Yeah.
And you have your naturals, I think, and no one likes them.
Yeah.
You know, those
Yeah,
sorts
yeah.
of things. But you can learn just about anything.
What about yours? Anything?
Well, I guess I wasn't particularly good at school, academically. It wasn't really my thing. And but there's some things that I came to like a lot after school, and one of those things is math. And I'm not particularly good at math. Like I like the idea of things like algebra and stuff because I like how it works with kind of variables that aren't definitive. But I still can't really write out an algebra equation. But I was listening to The Infinite Monkey Cage a while ago, which I know you guys know, and they were talking about some stuff in math, and they were talking about the elegance of it and how math is kind of like cheating in itself because what it's trying to do is simplify things further and further down. So if you've got a problem, it's just trying to simplify that further and further down. So I love the elegance of that. So I do like whenever if it's Excel spreadsheet formulas, which I know you're into. I do love the elegance of how you can manipulate things through rules to make something work. But if I was going to uni, which I'm too lazy to do, I'd probably want to study philosophy.
Okay.
I just think, those sort of ideas around, thought experiments and the idea, I think, when we think, I don't know, is that, a lot of things can't be known. It's really about perspective, but about considering perspective and asking yourself almost unanswerable questions. And I do love that idea. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Yeah. And I know that the CEO of LinkedIn, I think it was him, he was saying that even though he's done his MBA and all that sort of stuff, the most value he gets, in his day-to-day life is from doing philosophy. So I do like that. Again, not committed enough to really look into it, though.
If there was a philosopher that spoke to you every Sunday morning, say, would you go?
Are you going to then go, there's a podcast you can listen to?
He's going to do something very similar.
This was, last week we spoke about, instead of church, you just have some philosopher.
I was talking to you guys, actually, when I was listening to that, going, I should have been on last week's episode, but as we know, Stephen Hawking knows no time travel yet. I had a party last week and I invited everyone this week. And no one shut up. But it's really interesting because it made me think there's a thing that often my wife and I talk about, which is that there's a lot of community and a lot of aspects you get out of things like going to church that if you aren't religious, you don't have, particularly in later life when things like school networks and stuff like that drop off. There's a thing called Sunday Assembly. And that's what it is. It's where people get together and they still have bands that play, no doubt, I don't know, mediocre music and stuff. They play Beatles covers and stuff, just cool kind of all around. And they have people talk about philosophy and stuff. So there was one that started in Canberra, and I think it actually originated in Melbourne. So I don't know, but Sunday Assembly, but I don't know if they're still going. So.
I'm really tempted to go to one of those. I actually think it'd be really interesting.
I'm a bit like you, they're Sunday mornings.
Could you let me know how that is?
I will.
Just distill it down to its dot points and let me know when you get back.
Well, after 18 more questions, that can replace this segment. It's just
that's right. This is what happened.
Assembly recap. Yeah,
that's right. Okay. My one is then, I guess, and similar to you, Rowan, I reckon I did get much more interested in maths after school. Definitely. I wasn't, dumb in school necessarily, but I did the easiest maths I could. It was veggie maths, they called it, or method. Not method. I don't know. Something.
Math methods was the other
that was
end of
was the other end.
Yeah.
No. I can't remember. It was very basic.
It was called maths, but it had quotation marks on it.
I think they spelled it MAFF.
We built things. With Lego.
Math, you got that teacher that really just doesn't care. I don't care what you do in this class.
That's right.
Just colour in your math book. I don't care.
This maths class, we're going to watch Remember the Titans.
No, but I think that also comes from my love of Excel. The creating spreadsheets, and you do sort of need to have, I guess, some idea of maths and formulas and how that works. But the thing I enjoyed most in school was definitely media class, because that was kind of... It was two things. One, it was a little bit of a bludge. But two, it was actually genuinely interesting in, how film was created and all that sort of stuff. And it was, even photography, there's quite a bit about that as well. And I found all those things sort of interesting. But if I was going to study something, it would be programming for sure. Because I just think that's there's so many applications for it these days to know and learn programming. If I have kids, I'm definitely going to teach them programming or make sure they learn programming. I couldn't teach them because I don't know.
I did programming for about a week through my career path. And I actually took a demotion at the organisation I was working at to do that program because I really wanted to learn and I didn't have the skills. And so And so that was all fine, and I did for about a week, and realised I couldn't stare at a screen and not talk to anyone for 8 hours a day. And so then I ended up becoming the manager of that team. So then I managed people at programs. So I still got to be a little bit creative and design things on whiteboards and stuff and go, hey, this is how this should work. Now go and do it.
You figure it out.
That's
you
right.
nerds. Okay. Cool.
That was a better question than the one that was presented.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's get into the Ask Me Anything of this show, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want. Oh, Rowan, you can do it live. So we've got a couple of questions here.
Yeah. I got one here from Monica.
Oh, yeah.
It says, hi guys, this is a semi-serious one for you. Do you think that children born today will live better or worse lives than their parents? Thanks for the show, Monica.
Okay. Well, Rowan, I think you've got kids. So have you brought them into a horrible world?
Well, what are their chances, guys? Tell me. You know, are they going to be good?
It really depends, doesn't it? Technologically, absolutely. But, maybe...
But what does that mean, though? That could technically be worse as well.
But culturally, maybe not. You know, but is culture getting better? Is culture getting too far up its own arse?
Yeah, because I think we're becoming far more politically correct, where you can't even say what you want anymore because somebody will sue you or, make you feel like you can't express yourself, which is funny because it is all about expression now as well. Yeah. It's like you can't have a negative opinion anymore, I feel.
No.
But which I feel is kind of almost the void that the internet has allowed for people. You can't have a negative thought, in person. You'll be ridiculed. But you can put it online anonymously, and then
That's how people vent now.
That's your outlet. Yeah, that's right. You comment on somebody's YouTube video about how much they suck.
I think from a micro and macro perspective, there's two different elements. The micro being, the family unit and things like that. And I think, parenting is, an evolutionary thing, but it depends, on what sort of parent you want to be. Yeah. If you're going to be, the thing I find is if you want to be a bad parent, it's very easy. Yeah. If you want to be a good parent, it's very hard because the things you've got to try and do, and, you really, the whole modern parenting thing is about engaging with your child in a very respectful and almost philosophical way, trying to really educate them into the world. It's not a kind of, heavy-handed kind of thing, but that is challenging as a parent. It's easier to consider some of the easier options, I suppose. Yeah. I think at a more macro level, society-wise, the thing about movements around things like whether it's civil rights or gay rights or anything like that is that when you make those steps forward, I think a lot of people these days would think in some of those diversity contexts that, we'll look back on this in 50 years and go, I can't believe, gay people couldn't get married until this year or whatever it might be. But, that's a massive step forward. And even a lot of those human rights and civil rights do seem to just be getting better on balance, but they're not perfect. Yeah. And I think a lot of people still see that imperfection as, it's just not right or it's not good. Yeah. Whereas, people couldn't outwardly be gay. 20 years ago without feeling victimised or being met with disgust. And that might happen in smaller pockets. But, those people with those more bigoted views are dying out. I think the challenge for kids these days is how to regulate around things like technology and stuff because, they can almost be like you just plug in and switch off. Yeah. But it can be an amazing thing too that we get with technology. And, again, 200 years ago, to have access to the information we do now, you would have to be, A, it wasn't available, but B, you would have to be highly wealthy because education for, general members of the public was only so that you could go and work in a factory. Yeah, the only reason they wanted to educate you was just so you could be a worker, whereas...
read the instructions.
Nowadays, I think the world is essentially, our children, particularly in Western society, it's our oyster. Yeah. But we've got to try and make sure that we don't slip into some of those traps around some of those other things where you can, get too connected or zone out or, not really live the life. Yeah. So it's a tricky one to answer, of course. But
yeah. I reckon it's interesting what you're saying about being a good parent is it has a lot to do with philosophy. And I reckon that... one of the things that I really value from my parents, and I think probably more particularly my father, is that he instilled into me, for lack of a better term, always asking why. And I reckon that's I think that is something that your parents have to instill into you more so than, education, the way that, it's being released to us now. It's not really, it doesn't really come up in schooling that much, for you to constantly question. A little bit, but not, I think, as a philosophy day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
You might be like more of a science thing. Why do plants grow, but not in a, like, why is this person, what's this person's motive for giving me Facebook for free?
Yeah.
Just things like that I think, and that's why you have this uproar, right? When people go, what? They're doing what with our data?
Yeah. Whereas
if somebody already is aware of this and has asked, why am I getting this free thing in the first place? They're more prepared for it. They understand it, and I feel like that I've valued a lot more, and I think should be, and I think something that is being, taught a lot more the more we grow up. It's about asking why a little bit more. And because, like you said, education before is kind of like it's about quelling sort of people's thought process. It has been for generations and decades, because you have the rich people that are controlling the poor people essentially, and they don't want the poor people to ask too many questions. So, but we're slowly getting to a point where the poor people have more education. They are asking why a bit more. So I think it is a positive in that way. But in regards to this question, I actually think that the world is getting worse in terms of the environmental impact that we have, and how we are just slowly destroying our planet. And I think that, at some point something's going to break. Like we are just so growing so rapidly around the world. Population is just booming all the time, and I think that's such a huge danger, and it's just not going to take long. I mean, the thing that really made me think about this was a while ago, I guess, when I saw this chart on global warming, right? And I already knew that global warming existed, but I didn't know really what that meant in terms of history. And this chart just showed basically, like, from millions of years ago, what the temperature of the Earth was, right? And so it goes to the point, and it gets a little bit hot here, and then it goes back in, and then you get to the point of like the Industrial Revolution, essentially, and it cascades out really far, and you see that our Earth is so much hotter than it's ever been in the history of the Earth. Like, that is so
it's obviously
crazy.
Not a natural progression.
That's right, in such a short, unbelievably short period of time. It's like millions of years it's only ever been this sort of temperature, and now we're just pushing it out so far.
Yeah.
Like, we have totally effed up the planet, and I just have this fear of, like, well, a kid. Am I going to end up having, if it's not my kids but my children's children or my children's children, and I'm going to not have enough water and starve to death or something like that, or I don't even know necessarily what the worst case scenario is, but I just feel as though that's potentially where we're going.
Yeah.
So maybe, if there was, because the idea is if you just had everybody now to say, okay, everyone only has one child, so that you actually decrease the population by every generation, which theoretically you could say, okay, that would make the world better. But the reason why people don't want you to do that, and generally the idea is because that ruins the economy, because the economy works on growth.
Well,
right?
Young people have to pay for old people, essentially.
Yeah, that's right. So eventually you're going to hit this point where you can't, that's not stable anymore. And so then that's a huge problem. So they're like, nah, just keep having kids and it'll be fine and it's better this way. But I feel like there is a negative if we just keep going this way.
Yeah. And did you think in 2018, the thing that would tackle this subject the clearest is actually the movie Avengers: Infinity War?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is,
no spoilers.
Yeah,
no,
one has to see it.
No spoilers, but there is the debate about what he's saying is kind of the main crux of the movie.
Yeah.
About how do you tackle things like this.
Yeah, that's right.
In a way that I would say is actually kind of easy to understand as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Billy Connolly, I heard some of his stand-up quite a while ago, and he was talking about, this kind of topic, is the world getting worse and all that and stuff. And he said he was conceived during World War II.
Yeah.
And, it's just, bombs are getting dropped on London, and it's like, his parents are having a go at it, and he thinks like he's rocking his wife's world because, there's bombs falling and the earth's shaking, and it's like, if they had have thought, we better not conceive, like there's literally bombs dropping on the city, and they conceived Billy Connolly. So,
Yeah, that's right.
We need more Billy Connolly. So.
That's true. And he's been through some stuff in his life.
Absolutely. So it's tricky. I think, what I think, getting a bit philosophical about it, I suppose, is that...
we are a philosophical podcast, so it's fine.
I think, and the meaning of life question, which is a tricky one, which I think I asked you recently on this, but I think it's about... not living a cliched life. Like, I think the most important thing about life, and whether you think life is good or bad, it's about how do you avoid falling into the trap. And even like as a parent and as someone that bought a house and stuff.
Yeah.
How cliche.
Yeah, that's right. I got married first too.
Yeah,
it's very, very dumb. But the important thing for me is, and it's funny because Reddit does this for me to a degree, is it keeps me connected. Even though, like, I'm 40 this year, but it still keeps me connected to a world that I don't think I would necessarily be connected. Even with Facebook, like Facebook, it's very insular. It's a bubble of people that are like my own age and sharing things and stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing I can't stand is if you're going through that, if you're about to get married or you're buying a house, that's all you can engage with.
Yeah.
That's all I can talk about is mortgage rates or something like that. And then, you're having kids, and then you get together with other people that have got kids, and all you can talk about is kids. And I don't mind that. Of course, it's very important to me. But I like the idea that you can broaden ththings out. And to me, that's what's important in life, is trying not to be that cliched kind of follow the bouncing ball till you die.
Like you may have a house and a wife and kids, but you can come and sit down with two idiots and talk about the internet.
I am an idiot.
Yeah.
But that's what I was reflecting on with Reddit and stuff like that, and that's what I love about it. And I've been telling a few people, because I wasn't on Reddit until I listened to this podcast, and I don't think you guys were either. Largely on Reddit at that time.
We're still not.
But that's what I tell people. I'm like, rather than just getting this insular view, you get this, however many people are on there, 100 million people, or it's got to be that many just to try and get a good username. It's pretty tough.
That's right.
It doesn't matter about gender or age or anything like that. It's filtered by content.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still a bit of a bubble. I'm sure there's a particular you probably don't have a lot of rednecks on there and stuff. But so I'm not naive to that. But it is still a bigger set.
It's wider than I think. You think.
Yeah, well,
and because nobody's restricted to any area. Because obviously there's the idea of the subreddit, the Donald, right? It was all the Donald Trump supporters. So that's a very particular group. But they check out other subreddits and they comment on stuff, and you would never know that they are also a member of the Donald, which I probably don't agree with most of their views. But I think that's really interesting that you can still have their commentary on something and agree with them probably on something that
like you might be on. There's like Earth porn is one that's just like beautiful shots of places.
Yeah.
And they could be like, this place is amazing. You're like, yeah, absolutely it is. But if you were to look into that, you might not agree with everything else they're commenting on.
Yeah. Yes. Or if I saw them in the street with a, I support Trump sign.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely that I'm like, oh, they would appreciate a beautiful landscape.
And the same, they probably don't agree with a lot of stuff that you agree with, but still they can be like, oh, this guy liked my comment. That's great.
They could be a neo-Nazi who's a great photographer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's it. All right. So, man, we've got so long. You know what? I'm going to do this question next week. Is that bad?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. Sorry, Ben. We'll get back to you.
Yep.
But that's it for another episode.
Yep.
Episode 86.
Yes, we finally made it. And you all know now that my actual name is Michael Campbell.
Yep.
I know that there's a mystery for 86 episodes.
Yeah.
It's been revealed.
Well, no, it was only for like 4 episodes because everybody assumed that was your real name. And then it turns out it was. So I don't know. It wasn't that interesting.
Then I threw some doubt in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's funny. Before I came on, I messaged you guys and said, I'm feeling a bit nervous, and it's such a weird thing to come onto such a mediocre podcast. And think like, how could I fail?
Yeah, exactly. We have such a low bar.
Yeah, that's right. That
it's
bar,
so easy.
and I thought that bar is so low, and then I came here and I was underwhelmed. any further. So
There was a point earlier tonight when you said any advice, and we're just like, no.
yeah, no.
What? I don't know. We were hoping you would have advice for us.
Well, it's funny. I think how to anyone can draw or whatever, and I think anyone can start a podcast. I'm like, yeah, or you could just write into another podcast about 40 times, and then you can just hijack it for an episode.
Yeah.
I don't have to outlay for equipment or anything. I can just get on here. So no, but I really appreciate you guys having me on.
And I like the idea that this is there's certainly there'll be people that have been listening and have heard so many of our questions that now can kind of put a voice to those questions.
Yeah.
And is it weird for you? You've listened to this a lot. Like, you've probably heard my voice a lot. Is it weird ever seeing it like come from my face?
Yeah. Oh, the whole dynamic. It's so weird to think about how it works. It's really strange. And it's funny, like, even when we were catching up beforehand, I was just like, we could be recording this whole thing. I mean, just hanging out with you guys. This is the dialogue that goes on.
That's
so,
pretty much
it's great.
This is pretty much how it happened.
Yeah.
Cameron and I just talk crap for a lot, and we're like, we could probably record. Some people might listen.
We'll put a basic structure behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for another episode. Thanks for writing in, Monica. Yep. And if you would like to write into us, you can do so by contacting us through email, readitpodcast, readitpodcast @gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also reach us on Facebook, at Twitter,
and
on our subreddit.
Nope.
It's all.
So I just want to change up that.
It's all READIT podcast. Subscribe would be great.
If you just lost the plot. Anyway,
subscribe and rate us on iTunes or rate us on any app that you use.
Rowan, do you want to take us out with our famous catchphrase?
Yeah, we'll read you later.